Today's episode is brought to you by Munchie Mug, the world's #1 premium no-spill snack cup. Listen to today's episode for a special offer from Munchie Mug. Munchie Mug, making your life less messy. Hey everybody, welcome to Don't Make Me Come Back There. We are a funny podcast about family. My name is Dustin Nickerson. I'm a stand-up comedian and the host of the aforementioned podcast. And alongside me in our state-of-the-art recording studio / the due south wall is my lovely wife, my co-host, my CFO. The cover model of our book called How to Be Married to Melissa is the lovely Melissa Nickerson herself.
Hi there.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody, to our little podcast that could. We appreciate you backseaters coming along for the ride. We have lots to talk to you about today. We have things like high school reunions. Mm-hmm. We have things like PTA meetings. We're in the back to school swing of things. We'll probably cover ungrateful children. That's not on the topic list. It just tends to come up. It just tends to overflow out of my heart. But in the meantime, we have some other things to deal with. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It really means a lot to us.
We're back.
We're back. What do you mean back? Were we gone?
We had to do some old episodes in the summer, and then we did another book chapter.
Yeah, we were back last week, though.
I know. Just getting back into it.
Just getting back into it.
Coming back.
Yeah, Melissa has been mean for about 2 days straight.
And? I don't think you've been home for 2 days.
I was gone for 24 hours, and you act like you were a wife at home while your man was at war for 11 months, and no word of any. I mean, you. You were laying it on thick. Mom is done.
I was done.
When you refer, that's the ultimate parent move. When they refer to themselves in third person with their parent title.
Right. So is it Melissa is done, Mom is done?
Not I'm done. Not Dustin is done. Dad is done. I think
I said Mom is dead.
Mom is dead. That's what I said. Mom is dead.
Via text.
Yeah.
I was.
And I did the least helpful thing that I could do because it was a hard weekend. And we'll talk about that a little bit. It was just a lot of driving. This was carpool weekend. This was the Uber weekend.
That was like the physical thing that I was doing. That wasn't the emotional,
right.
mental.
But that kind of led to a lot of them, But then, and I did the least helpful thing I can do when I get home, which is like, well, it was pretty tough for me too. Which, even if that is, it was a hard weekend for both of us. That's the thing. Even if that is true, which it was, that's not what you lead with when someone says they're upset.
Well, I think I toggle between.
But I don't want to let you win, so.
Right. I think I toggle between being like, I'm gonna emotionally or physically check out when you get back. Because I just like need a minute. And then other times I'm like, I do it this way, Right. Yeah, that. And then I'm just mean.
No notes. No notes.
So I pretty much just like do a pendulum. 50-50.
Yeah, we have identified the problem.
It's you.
What it was specifically,
it's a hard weekend.
Well, you tell me what we're going to do today. I was like, oh, I thought we were going to go on a hike and then insert Melissa Michael Jordan meme. And I took that personally.
Well, I have had
Don't you know everything I do around this house? Whoa. I was trying to go on a little walk.
I didn't say that.
I know.
I didn't say that.
I know. It's hyperbole.
Okay, when you have a new school year, you have to like make all these appointments and like all these doctor's appointments and then like all these therapist appointments, and then you're toggling between your kids and their teachers and their doctors and their teams, and I do a lot of that for the whole house.
Yes.
Including you.
Absolutely me.
And that's just one of the ways that like that's how my brain works. I can manage this stuff.
Super
mostly
helpful.
I can like I probably have like 20 appointments for our family in the next like 2 months.
Just pending. Yeah. 22.
Yeah.
I added 2 today.
Yeah, exactly.
I scheduled those though because we had this talk.
You brought the card home.
And I brought the card home.
And I was like, yes. So it's just been a lot of that. The appointment. And then there's been a lot of like dead ends lately, like with care and appointments.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
like,
Things
and
not
that
coming through
is
the way
like
you needed them to.
very frustrating to me.
Yeah, 100% agree. And this is, here's the anecdote. So I'm at the dentist today, and we're
Just a cleaning.
We're getting to the end of the appointment, and they go, "Okay, do you need to schedule your next cleaning?" And then she interrupts. She goes, "Wait, nope, actually, your wife already did." And I go, "Great, it's fantastic." I mean, that doesn't happen very often at all, that someone gets an appointment and already has the next one. It's either someone that just loves getting their teeth cleaned or has a very diligent wife, which I'm very grateful for. Very, very grateful for. I just was on the receiving end of some anger. That's all.
It wasn't the comment, right?
No, and you pointed out, hey, you're not exactly being Mr. Nice Guy yourself. And I received that with the same humility that I always do. And I believe my response was, well, you're just wrong. So I was being nice. You're just taking this the worst way possible. And now you're being defensive. And way to take feedback as well as you always do, Melissa. Just, every once in a while,
and forth.
We just like to brush off just to know that we still can fight. Just, we still got the skills. A little rusty though, like, cause we didn't have any new lines.
No, that was literally it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nonetheless, it happens.
So,
yep.
Anyways, speaking of which, upcoming tour dates.
Send Dustin back out.
Segue, everybody. Not done any headlining shows since this last one, but I will say on Friday, when I just did a guest set with Angela Johnson here at Humphreys by the Bay, which we're going to be at tonight, this Tuesday, to see Head in the Heart. I'm so excited. That venue is incredible. Angela is incredible, as always. Very gracious, very kind. Mal Hall was there. Both former front seaters back when we had guests on this podcast. And
you can look up those episodes.
It was great to see both of them. They were
hilarious.
It was very fun. It's fun. Angela's
amazing crowd.
Angela's crowd is as good a crowd as a comedy crowd can be. So much fun. She's great. She's lovely and a star and funny. And
she's very funny. And
getting to talk to her was very fun afterwards. So maybe we'll tell that story. We had a funny dinner drink story afterwards.
We did.
But anyways, before we get there, let me promote some upcoming dates. This coming weekend, 8/26 and 8/27, that's Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be at Hereafter at the Crocodile in Seattle. If you've not gotten tickets to that, the only show still available to tickets is the late show on Friday.
Awesome.
Which is great. How on brand for late Friday shows to be the last to sell out.
Yep.
It's usually the worst show of the weekend, but it won't be if this one sells out. I mean, it still might be.
It won't
Somebody
be because when people buy tickets to the late show, it's better.
It is, absolutely. Yeah. That's normally the problem with late shows. So, and then on Sunday, we go to Spokane. Then the following week, I am in North Carolina on the 31st in Raleigh at the Improv. And then we get into September 1st, Charlotte, September 2nd and 3rd, Indy, September 4th, Kansas City. The 16th, Atlanta. If you haven't bought tickets to that, please do. It's going to sell out pretty soon here. Indianapolis, actually, we're adding a late show on Saturday because those two are both about to sell out as well.
Awesome.
9/17 and 18, we are in Minneapolis. There's only tickets to the late show on that one. Portland, September 18th, and then going back to Liberty University on the 23rd in Lynchburg, Louisville the 25th, Houston the 29th, Cap City in Austin on September 30th and August 1st, October 2nd, Dallas, Texas at the Improv there, October 14th, 15th, Royal Oak, Michigan, October 19th, Philadelphia, PA, and January 6th and 7th, St. Louis, Missouri. So that's what we got left here on this tour. I am doing some dates with Taylor Tomlinson, with Nate, some other stuff happening, but we're working on the reschedule for Salt Lake. Lots of things happening. If you go, we do sell books at all of these. Bring your books to the show. Wear your flannels to the show. I'll sign your books. We'll hang out. Mel will be there signing books on, let's see, any of these shows. Seattle for sure. That's the only one that's for sure. Maybe Dallas. We'll see. Anyways, it's nice to be here. I want to tell a quick dentist story. We've talked a lot about dentist stuff today, or in the history of this podcast. Stephen has pointed that out, and I think Stephen pointed that out before he had children because he didn't realize that just quite how much of your life is dental based.
Oh, yeah. The teeth are so important when you have little kids.
When you have little kids.
Yeah.
When you have little kids.
When you just have kids in general.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you get into braces.
Yeah. Oh, also, I had a TikTok and an Instagram get picked up on a lot of different channels, including Kev's and a couple other ones, about how you wouldn't share a toothbrush with me. And I wasn't even for the idea. You and I, for the record, have never shared a toothbrush. I've never used yours.
I think accidentally that's happened.
Oh, I'm sure accidentally it's happened. That
I know you've suggested it before.
I haven't suggested it. I have offered it. These are different things. That's what I don't like is that people made me seem out be like some disgusting animal here by being like, hey, do you want to use mine? And you just, no, absolutely. And that's fine to have that visceral response. I didn't argue with you. I just thought it was surprising. That's all. Because there's a lot of germs shared.
So if you're like at like some like campground or just like retreat center and they don't like have a lobby with toothbrushes, I'm pretty sure I've used one of your toothbrushes before. So so but it's been like so long where you're like, well, just use mine. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna not brush my teeth or use yours, I'll just use yours. But in recent years, I'd be like, yeah, I'm just gonna.
In recent years, probably just rinse with the water. Get some water in there. And, because water from the faucet, that's trustworthy. Nothing awful in there that's going to do any damage. That's not gross at all.
If you're in a hotel, you can get a toothbrush.
Yeah. If you're in a city, if you're in civilization, you're going to be able to get a toothbrush. Every gas station has them.
Right.
Toothbrushes are very accessible. So I get that. But I went into the dentist today for cleaning. And bad story long. A few years ago, we were on cheap state, California, Dentical. Insurance, had to go to a cheap dentist, did some very bad work.
It was one filling.
Pretty much drilled into my gum, created a whole issue, broke a tooth, had to get a root canal. And then
it started as a repair filling, then it became a root canal.
Right.
It was just months of spread out work.
Pain is what it was, too. Also was grinding the teeth during the time, so a lot of pain. Yeah. I had noticed some pain recently, but I thought it was just because I lost my mouth guard, which I got a new one on the way. But I go in today.
Yeah, I lost my mouth guard, too.
Yeah, they're very losable.
Vacation.
Very losable. Yep. No, I lost my mouth guard in Virginia, which is the name of my memoir.
That's so funny. Because you want to say like something serious.
No, but I mean, that is very serious.
My best friend.
No. Yeah. I lost my dog. No, I lost my mouth guard in Virginia. And it's put me in a lot of pain. I've been in a lot of emotional and physical pain.
Listen, I just got mine back, my new one.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way.
Oh, it still hurts?
I am still relearning how to use a mouth guard.
Oh, yeah. It does take some adjustment. That's for sure.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, I also this was a very funny adult thing today. Our dentist told us like, "Hey, you and your wife need to go get couples TMJ massages," which is so funny and so.
Yeah, he's told me before, and I've like tried all these like home techniques, and I do like these posture stretches, and I have this like arthritic cream.
You do them every night, and they're good, right?
Rubbing on it. Yeah. Anyway.
So he referred us to the knot spot.
We might be setting that up.
Yeah, you've heard of couples massages? Well, Melissa and Dustin have a different kind of couples massage. We just get our jaws and our neck area massaged. It's very, very sensual.
It's very a very intimate time.
Oh. Hilarious. So I go in today and they go like, hey, this looks like there might be an infection. I was like, okay, cool. I was actually hoping for some more problems with this.
You wrote a joke on this.
I did.
The root canal.
The root canal. It's the most relaxed I've been in 2 years. So they referred to me another guy. This is, again, Melissa being immediately on top of it. You call him. He's like, well, I'm about to go on vacation. And Melissa being the diligent home manager that you are, who has just been dealing with appointments and receptionist for a decade or 15 years at this point, you go, well, do you have anything today? And they did. Woo. And I was in that guy's chair 25 minutes later, 29 minutes later, I made a TikTok. I just embarrassing. This is such a silly random story. So there's like a 3D X-ray thing for teeth that these like high-end guys are. This is what he does.
Yeah, this guy's like a specialist, like an endodontist.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
And we go in and we do this, and he goes like, "This is crazy, but you have an extra canal on your tooth. Like there's normally a set amount, and you have an extra one because you have like an offshoot, like in Loki. What was the splinter or whatever? I'm not gonna remember, but the variants. Yeah, but there was it was I splintered in one of my roots, just canals, just added another one, a little extra root, and he was like,
offshoot.
And he goes, yeah, exactly, yeah, very Old Testament of you. And he said like, okay, so that's why he missed that. That's that happens. And he goes, so we'll just have to go and do that. And then he goes, and then he literally swears. He goes, oh, like, and I go, what? And he goes, you have 2 extra canals.
So he's got the 3D machine up to your mouth.
Well, he's already taken the x-rays.
Okay.
He's taking the 3 x-rays and he's looking at them. He's like, come over here and look at this. And you know when they show you an x-ray and you're like, yeah, I can totally see that little gray area.
Right.
I'm like, they show you the x-ray and I was like, yeah, it looks like teeth. I see teeth. I see so many teeth. And he's like, I've never seen this. He goes, I don't even know if this is human. I'm like, this is crazy. And I made a joke. I was like, I guess I'm just like extra evolved. And he's like, if anything, you're less evolved. And I was like, okay, buddy, we don't. He's like, you don't need all these things. These are totally extra.
You're a Neanderthal.
Yeah. He's like, oh, look at all these extra canals that I got here for eating rocks, or I don't know. But and he goes like, I can't wait to get my hands on this, which is a very nerdy dentist thing to say, right? Yeah. And I go, okay. And he goes, yeah, this is the type stuff that if I can do this, like you get published for this stuff. Like you end up in medical journals. And I was like, oh, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that my freak tooth, my one in a billion tooth
never
landed up here in your office in East San Diego. And you can get published in some journal that I'm sure a lot of people will read.
Yes.
It is fun to remember how people get competitive and vain in every industry, though.
Yeah, because he was talking bad about the old root canal guy.
He did talk a little trash, and he's like, I've done a lot of business off of that guy. And you're like, I guess, all jobs are like that,
Contractor
There's
types.
people that are good at it, and there are people that are bad at it, So the hygienist made a joke about how she goes, a lot of people talk about how we don't love, or like dentists hate Halloween. And he goes, we don't, man. We get paid for cavities. We love Halloween. Send your kids out. He goes, we serve candy at the desk. And I was like, that's true. They do absolutely serve candy at the desk there.
I actually noticed that our dentist has recently put a candy bowl on our desk.
I think, I think that office is a little cheeky.
Yeah, because it's all the sticky stuff, too. It's no, like, chocolate.
Yeah, they really pride themselves on that, of just having...
They're mostly adults, like that. They mostly work on adults.
Right.
But if, like, my children's dentist, my pediatric dentist had a bowl of sticky candy, that would make me very angry.
Furious. Because what you want them to have is a munchie mug full of sticky candy.
Yeah, because then they go to the 7-Eleven across the street and get... sugar. Yeah.
Mel, I had segued into the ad rate.
Sorry. Forgive me. Munchie mug.
You guys, if you're not familiar with Munchie Mug, it's actually a great Halloween is an important time to have Munchie Mug.
Sure is.
I came home yesterday with a bunch of the gig that I did this weekend. They gave me a bunch of 100 grands because I did an Instagram story years ago about how it's the most underrated candy bar.
They were delicious.
Munchie Mugs. Yes, you have snacks and candy around.
Hey, Dustin, did you know that Muddy Buddies are back?
Muddy Buddies are back?
They're back.
They're back.
They're back in stores. And you don't even have to make them. They've already prepackaged.
They've prepackaged Muddy Buddies.
And you can put those in a Munchie Mug.
Oh my gosh. So versatile.
For you or your children.
If you're not familiar with Munchie Mug, it's the best spill-proof cup on the market, ladies and gentlemen. There's a nice little fabric. It's a sensory experience. It's not going to spill. It's dishwasher safe. It's made right here in the USA. And if you go to munchiemug.com and use promo code DON'TMakeMe, you're going to get 25% off your entire order. That's munchiemug.com. Use promo code Don't Make Me, one word, no apostrophe, for 25% off your entire order. Munchie Mug.
Making your life less messy.
Ding, 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 ding. I want to talk real quick about Melissa presented at her first PTA meeting. So we have been at the same school for 11 years.
I think this is our 11th year.
We've had kids in school for 11 years.
11 years.
And never gone to a PTA meeting. You've never been a part of the PTA?
Well, they're always Thursday afternoons, like at 5. And our schedule just doesn't allow that. I serve at the school. Like, I volunteer in a lot of different ways, but not, like you join PTA because you got to give your money to school. But I don't go to the meetings.
Right. I've
never gone to a meeting. And that's been great. And
love not going to the meeting. Big fan.
They put me on the minutes to come in.
To what are you doing at this meeting?
So, it got approved. So we're going to have an art class in each classroom, and then we're going to culminate that into an art show.
Yes.
An art night.
A school-wide art night.
Mm-hmm. And so we've got funding from the Kroc Center down the street and the PTA to pull it off. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I was presenting. There's like a lot of numbers and info. Mm-hmm. And so they were approving the budget before I went in. So they didn't let me in because I guess that's a closed meeting. So I'm in the hallway and they're like, it'll be 2 minutes. And then like 10 minutes later, they let me in.
What is it? Me estimating times?
I know. And because everybody fights over money. That's the biggest thing you fight over at a school.
Funding, baby.
And so sure enough, I'm standing outside this boardroom at this elementary school getting more and more anxious and nervous. And I've gone over this stuff and I know a couple of the people in the room.
Right.
But
well, let's rewind here. Let's set up here. There are a few when you have a kid, you realize that there are a few organizations in the family's world that are clinging for authority. And the PTA stands for the Power Trip Association.
Don't even, Dustin, they listen to you.
Do they?
They follow you online.
No, I'm not talking about our PTA. Not our PTA. I'm just saying in general. The PTA, a little power, they got a little power, a little budget or so. So presenting to them can be very nerve-wracking because these are the parents in school who went. The PTA is made up of parents in school that look at that school and go, how can I get a little power around here? How can I have a little sway and a little influence around here? How can I have people wanting things from me around here? How can I be in charge of the decorations for the fall festival, huh?
Now, hopefully it's the best of intentions, not a power grab.
Okay. Are you saying I shouldn't post this clip because that was very funny? I'll post it to TikTok. Do they follow me on TikTok? Not our local elementary school. We love our PTA, but ours historically, you get a little nervous in there,
I thought, okay, cool. I have this great opportunity for the school. And then I got super nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
At least I acknowledged it.
You were going, yes. Oh, let me come back to that in a second because that's public speaking 101. You did a good job. But it is funny that you would be nervous to come to the people who, the truth of PTA is a lot of them are the best people in the world because they're like, how can I help my kid's school here? Yeah. And you're going, how can I give them the arts? The thing that keeps getting cut over and over and over and over and over.
Somebody from the board asked me to collaborate. And so I did. I set the grant people with the art teachers, and I did it.
You did it.
But I was still nervous. Even after all that,
but
because money makes people,
weird,
stingy, and weird.
It's not their money, but the principal was there.
Yeah,
and that's that.
I don't know. It was like a softball.
Yeah,
it was the lightest presentation as far as what I was asking for and what I was offering.
Right,
and I still got crazy nervous.
But you acknowledged the nerves. What did you say?
I did. I was
this is a real pro move.
Because I was talking a little fast because I don't, what I think it was is
what?
it's one thing to like talk in front of people. It's another to have like, it's like explaining the rules to something. You're like, I got to think really clearly, and they're going to ask follow-up questions. We can't mess this up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just got nervous.
It's like a sales pitch. Yeah. And then you've got to hear them.
And that's not really my background.
No.
You know?
What is your background in public
sales
speaking?
Pitching.
What would you say is your background when it comes to public speaking, other than assemblies?
I've got a weathered past.
So last night we had a very funny moment in our household. Is that our son is he's a sophomore in high school, and homecoming is right around the corner, and he's really been debating on whether or not he wants to go.
Yeah.
And
to the dance.
And I was being pretty diplomatic about it, because it is weird as a boy to go. I shouldn't make that generalization. It's weird for a lot of kids, but some people get insecure about dancing. Who am I going to go with? It's not, it can be, there's a lot of nerves that go into dancing, to dances, right? And you came in so strong on your pitch, and like, you should go. And I said to you, like, well, Mel, not everybody wants to go to dances as much as you wanted to go to dances. And you did just kind of take back, like, what? I mean, objectively, you know that.
I do.
But dances were so fun to you. They're you went to so many, you became the PTA of dances. You started planning the dances. You're like, I'll take care of this. I've got this. These are fun. Let me make them custom made fun for me. Let me be in charge of these things.
Yeah.
And so that we have a son that's on the fence about it for fair reasons.
Yeah.
Also, he's a sophomore. He's still an underclassman, you know?
Yeah.
Still finding his way and stuff. And you're like, but what? No. I mean, there's dancing, there's music, there's punch, there's pictures, you get to get dressed up.
Themes.
There's friends and themes and art.
Invitations.
And banners. There's going to be banners. You can make the banners.
Yep. I did.
Of course you did. You might make the banners for his.
Insert PTA.
Yeah. You're like, can I be an ASB? Can I just show up for ASB?
Just like fourth period?
You would be the best. What's the person in charge of ASB?
Advisor.
You would be the best ASB advisor in the history of ASB.
There is a form of like a different life where I was like an art media teacher and the ASB advisor.
Yeah.
That would have been super fun.
I'm not even firmly convinced it still won't happen, because you are now in the education system teaching art in schools.
I know. I just don't want to commit to the schedule. But,
well, I do think that teaching art to younger kids is more rewarding.
Yeah.
You know,
I would say so. Their guard is down.
Well,
but even by like 5th, 6th, they've got their guards up.
Well, and by the time you get to high school, it's like, a lot of those kids might be better artists, you know.
Yeah, but that's teaching. You're okay with that? With teaching.
As teaching, yeah. I guess that's probably the case in a lot of teaching things.
And a lot of
there's a lot of English teachers being like, "This kid's a better writer than me."
Computer, it's like media and stuff. But
yeah, that's true.
But no, I think that like dances in general take so much like foresight for a child, because I schedule his haircuts. Yeah, I know his wardrobe, and like he would need a new outfit.
Right.
And then he can't drive, so he's got to organize his friend group and the rides
100%.
And the meal.
It's crazy.
And this is like asking a lot of kids who like, you know, kind of missed some of this stuff during the pandemic.
Yep.
And then they have to like plan ahead, like make sure they have the weekend open, and then they have to ask somebody or form a group, and that's like just a lot.
Oh yeah. And in addition to everything,
explain to them like, hey, if you're going to, you got to figure it out, or else you're just going to have to go to like a thrift store and get an outfit.
Right. Which can be done.
It absolutely
but it's being done
can.
Ironically. And so it's kind of, you're
taking a risk.
You're taking a risk here. On your first dance.
Borrow someone's dress.
On your first dance, you do kind of like our first dance. We went
the traditional route.
Did I say this on the pod? What I was telling you about? I was like, okay, I want to say this.
Well, you did the TikTok about the teenage dirtbag.
No. This is what I was looking on our anniversary at some old pictures of us, and I was remembering our first date was my homecoming of my junior year.
Yeah.
And it was
and
such
it was 4 of us.
It was such a in hindsight, it was I wish I would have put this in the book. It was such a tone setter. Not a tone setter, and it was such indicative of what our relationship, how we work together is. And you gave me, okay, I'll just tell, here, show don't tell, Dustin. You critiqued my suit.
You didn't have a collar.
I didn't have the collar because back in the day, for a minute there you would do just like the button, like the kind of bigger. It was very popular. It was very common, and so I didn't have a collar and a tie. I just had the little button thing. And the first thing you said was like, "Oh, I don't love the button." No, you said you don't have a tie. That was what you said, which is how you begin critique usually. Like, you don't have a tie, and then and then you pointed out that I was slouching in the pictures. And then when we got the pictures, you said, you're slouching. That was the first thing that you said about the pictures. And I was like, oh, but you were also like joking about, because it was like an awkward thing with the family and the pictures and stuff. And you were being silly. Because I
had heels on.
So it wasn't not fun. Yeah. And I wasn't offended by it. It's just funny to be like, well, that's still happening 20 years later. Like, you have always been very, confident in who you are and what I like and what you like. You've never been afraid to say exactly what you like.
But can you say the other like sweet thing that you said to me about those photos?
What was the sweet thing that I said?
Was that some of them were super awkward and I made a funny face and was like
yes, that's true, because it was like an awkward family moment and we laughed about it. And
we took cheesy, silly photos.
Very, very cheesy, silly photos. And
we're like this with the bouquet.
Yeah, like we were dancing, and we also like danced and cheesily and sillily, very silly. Like, it was, it was just a tone setter of like, hey, when things are getting awkward, we're just going to joke about them. You know? So, sorry, I didn't mean to.
You're like, Mel, so critical.
Well, that's funnier though. The other one's more endearing. Sorry, I didn't mean. I told you it in person. Is that not good enough? Huh?
Say it on here.
Say it on here.
Or it doesn't count.
Was the book not enough?
I'm gonna crawl under my chair now.
Yeah. So you're 17. I don't even feel like I'm criticizing you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but now I'm criticizing me.
Listen, Melissa, 3 months later, I told you that I was getting a little itchy because I had an allergy thing, and you referred to me as Hives Boy. Well, Hives Boy over here.
That was me flirting.
So is that still you flirting yesterday when you were being mean?
Hold on. Wait. Why is this happening? and then I scheduled you a doctor's appointment.
Melissa, I've been endlessly interested and maddening in love with you for 20 years. These are more silly anecdotes than anything.
Okay, fine.
I think if you listen to the podcast at this point, everyone knows I'm a pretty big fan of you.
They go, oh, that's so Mel and Dustin.
That would be pretty funny if, like, this little clips from this, they're like, this chauvinistic pig just craps on his wife the whole time. I think you might have seen the rest of the content. You joked the other day. This was pretty funny because every comedian, you worry about getting canceled just to some extent. And I'm not exactly the king of controversy, but I'm like anybody. You say enough things, you put a mic in front of somebody. It's like baseball broadcasters get canceled because you put a hot mic in front of somebody for long enough, you're going to say something cancelable. And you go, what are they going to cancel you for? Loving your wife too much? That's where you go, man loves wife too much. But yeah, listen, this Hives Boy is pretty in love with you.
Okay, I'm going to find some juice and then I'm going to bring it back.
Some juice? What? I did not understand that.
You are digging up old stories about me. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, some juice on me. Melissa, who am I more critical than me? This seems like a good time to segue that Melissa this weekend has something coming up, her 20-year high school reunion. Oh my
It's very casual.
Soups Cash.
It's an afternoon.
I performed
Sunday
at my
afternoon.
10-year one, and it did not go well.
Never do that. Unless you're a band.
Here, let me crap on myself a little bit. I bombed so hard. And it wasn't even really a bomb. It was just more like you couldn't hear it.
Wrong place.
I was just performing in the corner for a while my friends were...
It was a bar, and nobody heard your act.
How fitting that 10 years later, I guess 9 years later for me, it's like a lot of them are coming to my show this weekend. And you're like, yeah, buy tickets to go see a proper show. I'm going to go do stand-up comedy in a stand-up comedy club, a venue that is meant for this.
I think the girl who planned that was like, oh my gosh, Dustin's just starting comedy. Let's have him out.
What a fun thing.
That's so cool. Yeah. He's in our class. And you were just new enough to be like, sure.
Yeah, we were going up there for a funeral, I believe.
Yeah, we were already there. What a special time. Forgot about that.
I didn't. It wasn't the only funeral. It wasn't the only death of the weekend. So but you've got yours coming up, Soups Cash.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just like afternoon at a brewery. Yeah. There's like no food.
Yeah.
You just buy your own drinks.
Melissa is planning on wearing a romper, and I am furious about it. I am irate because not only am I not going to be there, I'm going to be in Spokane. I'm going to be across the state.
Yeah.
Spokane Comedy Club, 828. And you got a romper, and I was like, oh, I like this. And then you're like, I think I'm going to wear it. And I was like, excuse me? Excuse me? Around all those teenage boys? They're always teenage boys in my bed. Excuse me?
You leave my house and that young lady?
Yeah. Well, that's because you were out in Ohio and you were talking to your new mom friends, and they're like, whatever you wear, it should show off your legs. And we're like, excuse me? Excuse me? You should wear a nun outfit. And you should be holding a Bible in one hand and our marriage book in the other hand.
Oh,
that's what they need.
Like our wedding photos.
Yes, you need to no, our marriage book.
Oh,
our marriage book.
Here I am.
Yeah.
Bible, marriage book.
Marriage. You need dressed as a nun.
No one will talk to me the whole afternoon.
Perfect. The ones who really care about you will. Anyways. I'm not happy about this. If I didn't love my Spokane fans so much, old Hives boy would hop on that 50-minute flight. How you feeling about it?
You say one thing in 2001, and it never goes well.
2001. This hit me the other day. Here's perspective. This is a hard segue. Then we'll get back to this. So I'm going to talk about the Seattle Mariners here for just a second.
Okay.
The last time the Seattle Mariners were in the playoffs was 2001. That means the last time that the Seattle Mariners made the playoffs, I was Joel's age. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that feels like I don't even have a baseball team. That's so crazy.
Right.
Anyways, I told him that whenever the Mariners make the playoffs, that I'm going to take him to a game. I'll take him to a playoff game as long as it's in Seattle. And that's been a pretty empty promise for about 10 years.
Yeah, you're like, that's just like, oh, my dad's so cool. He's going to do this.
He's going to do it.
He's going to never have to do it.
One day. One day. Now it's like, I hope it happens before I die. But anyways, but how are you feeling in general about the high school reunion? Just we'll recap it when you come back. But we've got some emails to get to and stuff, but I want to.
Attendance is like super low. It's like $15 on an Evite.
Yeah.
And it's like really low attendance.
Well, let me tell you this.
So
people are buying tickets late real quick.
That's true. Yeah. I like a smaller group anyway.
Well, you know a couple people that are going to be there.
I do. Yeah. Like of our kind of my high school friends, the wives are going.
Okay.
Some of their spouses are just going to sit it out.
Right.
Or they didn't go to that high school.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
do you have to go to the high school to go?
No.
Yeah,
no, actually,
that doesn't make sense.
Like families can come, so like
you can bring kids? You should bring the kids.
No. They don't want to go that. Can you imagine? Tune
in next 2 weeks from now, everybody, because this next one's going to be recorded in advance. But
I'll follow up for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do a couple emails, shall we? Okay. This is a quick one, real quick. All
right.
This was no subject. This is from Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
This probably isn't worth an email, but I thought it was. But I finished the episode before realizing I had it on 1 times 1.14 speed the whole time. You were calling off your show dates, and I was thinking, wow, he's like an auctioneer. He's got this down. And at different points, I was wondering why you were talking so fast. It wasn't so fast. The speed up was obvious, but enough to make it kind of funny. That's
like
funny.
Chipmunks. Nice.
A little bit of chipmunks. I am a fast talker. So if you put that in a little more, I bet it is.
I used to listen to podcasts at 1.25 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nothing like putting a value on an artist, a creator, an entertainer, and saying, I can only take you in at half your speed or half your value. Like if
I take an hour podcast.
If you made something that's an hour, I want that to be a half an hour.
It's like a skim read. Yeah.
Okay. 2 more emails.
All right.
And then we got a bingo dingo to get to. Ready?
Okay. Yep. We should save the bingo dingo.
Save the bingo dingo. All right. Bingo dingo for next week, everybody. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
At least 1 more email, maybe 2. We'll see how long this one takes. So this is from Kimberly.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, Dustin and Melissa. I started listening to your podcast after hearing Dustin on Matthew West, Jamie Ivey, and Annie F. and Downs. Well, that's just what we call it on this podcast. I've been binge listening to episodes starting back from the quarantine days and basically listen all day at work. You guys are so funny, and I can completely relate to your conversations about growing up poor. I was laughing out loud. Those are my conversations, not Melissa's. I was laughing out loud when you guys were talking about getting food stamps and unemployment during the pandemic. When we were, we had that too. Yeah. When we were young, my mom used to have to separate the food products from the non-food items, paper towels, toiletries, etc. I remember this. While we were waiting in line, since our food stamps only paid for the food items, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I always hear you talk about being from Seattle, Tacoma, Federal Way, and I was wondering if you'd ever been to Port Hadlock / Port Townsend. My grandma lives there, and we grew up there over the summers during elementary and middle school. And my favorite thing as a kid was riding the ferry to Seattle. But it was annoying how long it would take to get basically anywhere since it was on the peninsula. I also have a parenting question. Okay, so first question: I've never been there. I haven't spent a lot of time in the islands. You did?
Yeah, I did go there for I went to a couple islands,
Yeah, you go out every once in a while. You hit the Vashon, you hit the Whidbey. Camano's north, though. That's not the peninsula.
I went there at least once.
Right. It's
Bremerton.
You go to Kitsap for tournaments and stuff like that, but not a lot.
I think because of our league and district, we're a little bit more north.
Right.
And east than west and south.
The peninsula driving is just that's such an annoying thing to drive. But.
Well, it's gorgeous. Yeah. But yes, ferries.
It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous. You don't want to take a ferry for work.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
Here we go. I also have a parenting question. I am a mom of 4 toddlers.
Whoa.
3.5 years, 2.5-year-old twins, and a 1-year-old.
Oh my
gosh. 4 under 4 is crazy.
Whoa.
With a baby on the way due in November.
Oh my gosh, congrats.
Kimberly, are you okay? Kimberly, that's crazy. Our house is absolutely chaotic, and 3 out of our 4 children have birthdays in November and December.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, timing-wise. And now we're having another in November as well. Any suggestions for celebrating their birthdays? It's hard because they're all so close together and it's close to all the holidays. Our oldest son's birthday is November 16th. Our twins is December 20th. I firmly believe no one wants to buy all our children birthday and Christmas presents and come over to our house to keep celebrating it. But I love celebrating their birthdays and making it a big deal and having parties for them. Any ideas on how to make it work and celebrate all their birthdays, all while having also a brand new baby? Thank you. So, Melissa, in recap here, Kim is asking, she has 4 kids under 4 and a new one coming in November. She's going to have 5 kids under 5.
Okay.
All of their birthdays, 4 of the 5 birthdays are right there. Any tips on how to make it work to celebrate all their birthdays, also while having a brand new baby?
Kim, these kids don't need birthday parties. Please don't do this to yourself. Go get a coffee.
Kim, if you do this, you will not make your next birthday.
Go buy yourself a coffee. Step 1. Take one of those children.
Kim, you need a coffee and a Xanax.
Take one of those kiddos and let them pick out a toy at Target.
There you go.
And that's like a little fun little time. That's it.
Mel, but we have learned, I'm thinking one of our friends, name Olivia specifically, some parents, this is fun for them. They love it.
Yes.
They love the party planning. They love the thing. They love the way that you were with dances. They are about their children.
Okay.
So I'll give you an anecdote here. So this last weekend I was doing a church gig in Austin. And the guy I was driving with, he was very kind. And he talks about, he goes like, my day off is Friday. Friday is my me day. Like I don't, like my wife work. He goes, so I just spend my time Friday. Mm-hmm. And I go, and I was like, well, you sleep and golf or what do you do? And he goes, I do house projects. I love doing them. And I go, oh, that's unbelievable. That's the worst thing I could imagine you doing. But if that's fun for you, that's great. So it sounds like Kim here, and it's not a better or worse. Yeah. Sounds like Kim really likes to do those things, but you're giving her permission that she doesn't have to. Is that what you're saying?
Okay. Everyone's going to be crying at that birthday party.
Especially you, Kim. I can't think of a better way to end this. Genuinely, Kimberly, thank you for being a backseater. Thank you for being such a good mom. Yep. You're incredible. Thank you guys for tuning in, everybody. We'll talk to you guys next week.
All right. Bye.
Hang in there, Kim. Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. Wanted to give a special shout out to our As Essential as Oils patrons. That's our $25 a month and up level patrons. Thank you so much for your support of the podcast and Dustin Nickerson comedy. That is Trey Turner, Nathan and Jennifer Merritt, Adam Bush, Jennifer Ashley Downs, Juliana Smith, Jordan Cowan, Code to Grow, Courtney Eibling, Lori Amos, Dave and Melissa Cox, Isaac Terron, Farrah Journey, Bonnie Galindo, Carrie Teague, Averill Griffiths, Jessica Sewell, Rachel Kennedy, Dave Hoagland, Demarius Diaz-Stevens, Nicole Carraz, and Tiffany Payne. Thank you so much, everybody.